right. Some real shit for you niggas. Check it out. Am I weak or am I strong? Can my mind carry me on? I'm striving to get this money, but cowards say that it's on. Who am I not to do me, nigga, and get it on? I'm striving to get this money, but cowards say that it's on.
I'm having dreams of my enemies killing me, cause the way I be chasing my currency and dealing with bitches who work on their knees. The piece of young G, so I don't sleep, cause I got seed to feed. So I take no dose to ride with calicos and 44s. Made me a sick individual, mind of a criminal, acts of a serial killer, nigga. Don't make me kid at you. Gotta get this money, nigga. I be damned if I'm bummy while laughing at you niggas getting this cake. You niggas fake, shoot the A out the cake. So what can I say? These rampant niggas don't play. R.I.P. A-Wall, screaming fuck all y'all gon' stand tall.
Am I weak or am I strong? Can my mind carry me on? I'm striving to get this money, but cowards say that it's on. Who am I not to do me, nigga, and get it on? I'm striving to get this money, but cowards say that it's on. Am I weak or am I strong? Can my mind carry?
Yo, this LTA, this your boy Dope.
What up, Dope, man? As far as you, man, let's talk about it. Let's get it.
What's the word, man? How you feeling today?
Man, it's a beautiful day, man. Beautiful day, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to, you know, stay focused, maintain, you know.
Did you do the do you do the whole holiday thing? Did you do the whole Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving? No. You know, I stopped celebrating really Thanksgiving a few years ago, so I ain't really been drawn with Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? Like
2 years ago or so.
Yeah, I think it's all capitalism. You know what I'm saying? They figured out a way to make everybody spend some money on one day, so that they can boom and make their quota for the end of the year. I just can't be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I can't be a part of it. So that's just what it is. It's looking a little, you know, it's looking gloomy right now. We gotta fix the light up here.
That's just for them. It's gonna be light on it.
Y'all alright out there? How y'all feeling? But yeah, Thanksgiving was decent, man. I ain't really do nothing either. I ended up doing laundry all day.
Yeah, I don't mess with it. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, the last couple of years I don't mess with no holidays. Just this year, 2021, we started doing Juneteenth.
Yeah.
That's the only one, and birthdays.
Yeah. I celebrate birthdays a lot. I can't lie.
Yeah, birthdays, you know, that's your born day, you know what I mean?
Big day.
But 4th of July, I don't mess with Christmas, Thanksgiving.
I blow some stuff up I blow some shit up on 4th of July, no lie.
We turned that, well now, like I said, this year we've been doing, we did Juneteenth, so we blowing things up, yeah, you know what I mean?
Blow it up, you know what I'm saying? Traditionally, you know, they got us trained to respond to these holidays, you know what I'm saying, in a way that we spend a lot of money, you know? Spend a lot of money on these holidays. Barbecue, fireworks, you know what I'm saying? All of that nonsense that we go through, but it was good. How was your holiday though?
Like I said, I don't mess with it, but
so you was good?
Yeah. What we on tonight though, man? What we doing, man?
Oh,
what we talking about?
So
we got some people ready to call,
man. Look, it's been crazy out here. So the Facebook been going ham, right? A lot of the ladies been saying it's pissing shit in the dating pool. And I'm like, what they talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, what they mean is pissing shit in the dating pool. And they like, man, individuals over 35, like, it's done. They feel like the dating world is done for them. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't get it. I want to understand where the ladies coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like, please fill us in so that the fellas in the world can know how to keep up to make sure that they're doing what they supposed to do, to make sure that there ain't no doodle or no shit in the dating pool. Like, so we're gonna have a conversation about it today, man. I'm talking about a lot of sisters been talking about it, man. And like, sisters, let us know what's up, because sometimes we don't be feeling that love. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the love can't come from the fellas, you know what I'm saying? So ladies, you gotta help us out in order to like really understand what's in the dating pool or whatever it is, because I don't really know too much about it. I didn't know it was doodle in there.
The thing about this subject is definitely very objective. Most females go around to female, most men go around to men. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a bunch of pointing fingers, man. But let's do it, man. Who we calling first?
Man,
let's get some out of line,
let's get this conversation.
The subject is about dating over 35.
So I'm finna hit somebody, you know what I'm saying, that was interested in having this conversation. She got to take care of something, so she ain't gonna be on the line for too long. But I just wanted to get her perspective and kind of figure out from the ladies. Oh snap, the phone gonna go crazy. Man, let me write that number down, man. That's one of the bros. I gotta write that down, my bad.
Why?
I gotta hit that.
What do you think about dating over 35? That's
Dating
what the
over
subject is
35,
tonight.
man.
Dating over 35.
My bad for that, y'all.
What we got?
Let's make this conversation. Let's see what this conversation go. Like, are the ladies gonna be mad at us at the end of the night? Are we gonna form some type of peace treaty? Good evening. How you doing?
Turn that to make sure they could hear.
Hey, how you doing, Fergie? I'm doing alright.
Oh man, doing good. So I ain't disclose your name or nothing like that, just for confidentiality. But for the conversation that we having, you know what I mean? Just to have an open conversation with our sisters to try to figure out what's in the dating pool. Is it doo-doo in there? Is it pee in there? What's going on, so we can try to clean it up some or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough out here. I'll be honest. You know, most of my life I was in relationships, sort of back to back to back, long-term relationships. You know, relationships that, you know, are longer than some people's marriages, and that included children. But I've been single for like it'll be 7 years in July. So like six and a half years at this point. The last 6.5 years I've been single.
So quick question, just for general purposes, nobody knows your name, but can you tell us how old you are?
I'll be 41.
41.
Next month.
So it's been doo-doo in the dating pool for 7 years?
I mean, I'll be honest, there's some cool people that I've interacted with, but for the most part, to me it just seems like there's always some level of unavailability. Either it's like, you know, someone that is around physically but isn't there emotionally.
Okay.
Or somebody that is there emotionally but not physically.
Okay.
So,
okay.
What age would you say you started noticing this, or this been your whole life, or is you putting an age on it? You know, a time frame, I should say. Is you putting like it's been happening the last 5 years, 10 years, 2 years, or whatever? Like.
Well, honestly, I think, you know, in some ways, even my past relationships sort of follow that pattern. And so, especially since, you know, one of my longest term relationships, actually my most longest relationship was actually a really unhealthy relationship for a good percentage of that time.
Wow.
And so there was verbal abuse and some physical abuse. And so I knew when I got out of that relationship, which was the last one I was in, that I needed to have some time to heal and to really, you know, examine and be more self-aware to understand sort of, you know, how did I allow myself to get to that place? Why did I allow it to go on so long? And as time has gone on, I also realized that, like, healing is not something that is like a goal you reach. Healing is a practice.
Okay.
It's an ongoing thing. So even if, you know, they're not open wounds anymore, they're still scars, you know, and different things can trigger them. We bring, you know, the pain of our experiences into our new relationships. And so I'll admit that, you know, at least some of my issues have been, you know, getting over those past hurts and acknowledging those scars and recognizing some of my own insecurities.
So.
And learning how to really love myself unconditionally so that I recognize it when somebody else is coming with something less.
Right.
So how long was your you know, how long you been, if you're single now, how long you been single?
Since 2015.
So, and then that last relationship, how long did you say that lasted? 10 years?
9 years.
9 years.
And he was emotionally and lightweight phically abusive. I think a lot of the guys that end up like that are dealing with a lot of like insecurities, because it is no way in the world, or no reason in the world why a man should put his hands on a woman. In my honest opinion. Now I done seen some women clap back now, and they done slapped some taste out some brothers' mouths. But even in those situations, like, a man has an opportunity to remove himself, control his emotions, because, you know, you're not supposed to really be abusive to the women. And it's like a word to the brothers that's out here trying to get in the dating pool, wondering why they losing in the game, or why they can't find that woman that they want to hold on to all night. Like, this is she telling you why right now, fellas.
But hold up, hold up.
Real shit.
She said she was in a relationship for 9 years and then been single for 7 years.
She ain't fucking with these.
Now hold up. We gotta break it down though. Let's break it. Slow down. Hold up. So listen, if you don't mind me asking, then how many men have you dated in the last 7 years?
I think it sort of depends on how you define dating.
Right.
You know, I'm very particular about who I share my tempo with. You know, so I can honestly say that in the last 7 years, I've only been with 1, 2, 3 men physically. But I've been on more dates than that. Like, I've gone on
Okay, I was gonna ask that next. So I mean that is probably
that's a lot of advice. I mean, but
so,
it's confidential.
So the reason
so
why,
nobody knows.
Yeah, nobody knows who she is.
I mean, unless
reason,
they recognize the voice, but you know.
The reason why I'm asking this is
I don't
because
care, I'm not ashamed.
Right.
I think that's a good number for 7 years. Some people out here way hotter than
Man,
that.
I'm talking about whole
Yeah.
10-piece nuggets.
and the reason why it matters though is because of this. This is the reason why it matters. If you're with somebody for a long time, like you was 9 years, then you're single for 7 years, it's like you don't get to know, you know what I'm saying, what it's like if you're not in it. But you said you've been dating though, so you're,
But it's also
been dating,
about healing
so-
though.
No,
So at the same
well-
time, like during what's going on, it's like you got a lot of brothers that's scarred by women, and you got a lot of women that's out here scarred by the men. So it's like all these past experiences kind of mess us up for being able to open up and like really be the
But that's
person
not
that
what
we're
we-
supposed to be. But
That's
Well, yeah,
that's true, but that's not
absolutely.
what we talking about though. We talking about why the dating game is bad.
that's why
No,
everybody.
that's
That
not
is why. I agree with what Farji's saying. I think, there's a lack of a willingness to be vulnerable. And granted, you got to be careful about who you decide to be vulnerable with, but you're not going to really be able to build a true connection with somebody if you
got a
don't
wall
let
up.
your walls down, if you're not able to be authentic. And that means also at times being vulnerable, letting somebody in, letting them know what some of your insecurities and fears are, what some of the things are that you're still healing from. Because, that's part of how we get to know each other and accept each other for where we're at. I think a lot of times, too, we think about what a relationship was like in the past.
Right,
And we sort of
what happened
romanticize it, or we think about what it could be in the future. And I'm like, no, you need to think about what it is right now. And if you can't accept a person for where they are and who they are right now, then you shouldn't be with them.
And
You know
that
what I mean?
and the hard part was with that is just being able to be open and honest about the situation, and that's why I think a lot of the people that are in that shitty pissy pool, like everybody's not able to kind of figure out how to be honest with the person or the people that they interact with.
Well, they're probably not being honest with themselves. You know?
Now are we talking dating or like a relationship?
Dating.
I think it's both. You're not
When
going to be
you
able
date,
to really
you
connect
swing.
and move into a relationship if you aren't really willing to build upon, what you're doing when you're dating. For me, you don't want to give your whole life story on the first date, but I do want to feel like I'm seeing authentically who you are. Most people want to put their best foot forward, make a good impression, but you also want to be yourself. Otherwise, someone's going to be dating someone that's not even who you are.
So we got a comment that came in from December the 19th. She says it's hard to open up because some men will throw your past hurts in your face.
I think that's true. It
once
depends
again,
on
we
the
talking
man.
about
That's why I said you got to be
It's
careful
dating.
about who it is that you share those parts of yourself with.
Okay, so just for clarification, let's clarify what we with dating.
I think hold on, let's say this. I think a lot of
we just
times
have a disclosure.
I think a lot of times too what we do wrong though is, first of all, we get into relationships young to start off with. People be 17 and be with somebody till they 29, 30 years old, and then realize they don't want to be with the person.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I think I want to write a curriculum where we dispound all young relationships. Like y'all could be together, people going to juice and stuff of that nature.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But far as that relationship stuff, we be with somebody, like I said, from 20 to 35 and then realize it don't work. And then next thing you know, you don't want to date or can't date because you don't know how to date because you only been around this one person, really.
I did kind of feel like that when I got single, at 35. Because like I said, prior to that, I was basically in long-term relationships back to back. So it was like I was dating for the first time since I was like 15, to be perfectly honest, at 35.
Yeah.
So 20 years later, I was really just getting my first experience with really what it felt like to date as an adult.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So if you was
With dating,
if you was to give some advice, then so far you're still single, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and anybody have you dated so far? You seem like you do see a future with, or ain't nobody catching your eye,
Or is the dating right now just to kind of fill the time?
Well, I feel like I've had a true connection with a few people, but like I said, there's usually some issues. There's been guys that have seemed like wholeheartedly interested in me and like ready to be in a relationship, but I saw red flags, and I was like, I'm not going to go back to a relationship that I'm already seeing, because I have the experience of recognizing those red flags now. I'm not going to jump into that kind of a relationship if I think that there's like some unresolved trauma or like some issues with addiction around alcohol or drug use or something like that. That's a red flag. I'm good on that. I'm going to say, you know, I got mad love for you, but this isn't going to work as far as trying to build a relationship. Right. And I think there's also been, you know, a person that I've really liked, you know, and have been building with, but they just kind of never really like pulled me in all the way, kind of kept me at arm's length, but always wanted to keep a foot in the door and just kind of made me feel like they were holding on to me but not really pulling me in close. And so that felt like shit, really. You know, I didn't want to feel like that, so I had to be honest with myself, like, even if I want this person to be in my life, if in reality right now I'm not getting out of the relationship what I feel like I need, then I need to change it, and I feel like I'm being used or taken advantage of.
Let me ask you one last question real quick. And even though nobody could really, you know, just say, can't nobody really guess the time frame on this, but just, you know, if we was to throw a number out there for your comfortability, what would your advice be to, how long you think is, okay, so if you meet somebody tomorrow and say you've been rocking with them for 2 months and you really dig them, do you make yourself hold up and say, hold up, let me give them a few more months before I just jump in, even though you feel good about it, blah, blah, blah? Is there a certain time, or we really can't say?
You know, in my experience, I think, you know, especially in like when you're counting things in months, you ain't gonna know. And actually, that's a little bit part of the problem, at least for me, is that I always try to see, you know, the good in people. I want to give them a chance and like just see what happens. And I don't think it's easy to really get to know the true person in 2 or 3 months. You know, I sometimes feel like the people that I was in long-term relationships for years, I didn't even really know. Until we were like 3 years in, which is a long time to commit to somebody that you don't even end up staying with. Right. So I think you kind of have to find the balance between not jumping in too quick, allowing the relationship to build. And even myself, I think one of the things that I've been doing more and more is choosing to not be physical, because I think a lot of the time, especially for women, that overcomplicates things. There's lots of other ways that you could be intimate and build that upon that intimacy without, you know, going straight to having sex. And so to me, that's been helping me really.
They be out here busting it. They definitely be out here busting it, April. I think a lot of men jaded by that. But man, I truly appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like, we got some advice. You know what I'm saying? With age comes experience. I hope everybody taking notes and kind of realizing some of the things that we're talking about. And truly appreciate you, you know, chiming in and giving us a woman's point of view on why it's piss and doo-doo in the dating pool.
Yeah, absolutely. All I can say is love yourself first, and the right kind of love will find you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Sergi.
No problem at all. Thank you.
Okay, peace, y'all.
All right, peace.
My last question, what I was trying to ask was more or less, would you give yourself, like, okay, how would you say, like, if you dug somebody in 2 months, 2 days, 2 days,
right?
What is the shortest that you allow? Okay, if it was 2 days, you start feeling like, no, I'm gonna have to wait. If it was 2 months, if it was 2 years, you'd be like, that's too early. Like, what would be the earliest that you'll go to?
You know me. You know I'm an earth god, so it's all about vibes with me. You know what I'm saying? Like the first day could like set it off for a whole couple months. You know what I'm saying? Until the red flags start popping off. Like with me,
I'm saying, what's the least you would give yourself though? Like,
I don't give myself no time.
I mean, you know how people always got the guidelines, like no matter what, I'm gonna wait for this. I
don't set no expectations. I just go with the flow until it's a hiccup.
That's just like that. When Steve Harvey did that. What was that shit called?
I go with the flow.
What was that shit called?
You know what I'm saying? Like if they cool, they cool. You know what I'm saying? Things go well, but the moment it's like red flags and whatnot, but like she said, I got my own trauma.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I see a shorty throw me a red flag and I start thinking she outside busting it open, I ain't gonna treat her the same.
Right.
If she got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dudes that she in contact with on a regular basis, bro, I'm not finna trust nothing she on.
Right.
Like, it's just, okay, you know, you live your life, I'm gonna live my life, and I think that's kind of where a lot of us are at the age that we at. It's kind of like, okay, ma, I know you out here doing dicks, I'm out here doing pussies. Look, this what it is, that's what it is, and that's what it is, right?
Everybody ain't doing that.
But that's the concept. Like, that's the concept. Everybody thinking that we hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could be sitting at the crib with nothing, and everybody will assume that, you know, I got 2-3 hoes or something. You know what I'm saying? Hoes calling my phone all night when it don't be there.
Okay, let's call somebody else, man. Let's see what somebody
Let's
talking
see
about,
what's
man.
up, man.
See what
But
somebody
they do
talking
be
about.
out here busting it open, bro. I ain't even lying.
Oh yeah, I mean
You know
that's
what I'm
what
saying?
That's
y'all,
when you get
it's some females that look.
That'll never
It's
stop.
some
You know what I'm
females
saying?
that know it
Yeah.
too. Y'all know y'all best friend be busting it.
Shit.
You know your best friend be busting it.
That's right.
You
That's
know what I'm
right. Be giving
saying?
it time, man. That's
What's up,
stuff.
nephew?
Yeah.
How you feeling, girl? Man, we chilling, man, down here politicking, man, talking about, you know, dating over 35.
Dating
man.
over 35.
A lot of the sisters said it's pissing shit in the dating pool. How you feel about that?
What y'all think? Dating over 35. What about it?
Oh, I wouldn't lie. I agree. Shit, at this point, you know, you still watching for people who got you know, ulterior motives. It's rare to find somebody genuine. You know, but I don't know, man. It's just, I guess it just depends on the people too. Like, you know, some people they look for more. They look for things like, you know, financial stability. You know, or what's your credit score looking like?
Yeah.
How old are your kids? What's the relationship with the kids? You know, with the kids' parent, father, mom.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. Right.
Hey, you know what? I think one of the problems always been, and you kind of just touched on it. Most dudes or dudes I've been around, hood cats, or however you want to put it. Now you don't have to be hood people. You got the corporate people that do this too. But men date for looks and women date for stability, like you said. You know what I mean?
And to that point,
So
right?
so go ahead.
There's a compromise. There's a compromise, right? So with the pretty face comes
An attitude.
A high tab.
Right.
You know, and then or you can dumb it down, right? And you can find someone because they out here. You know, it's women that still are women. You know, and they'll take care of their man in the manner they're supposed to if they're being taken care of the same way. So let's not forget that part neither.
Right.
You know, because it has to be reciprocated. But
Right.
for the most part, you get the girl who is not that pretty, but is more into you.
So
You know.
and that's really not the norm a lot. Do you think it'd ever be the norm that, okay, like if you ask, let's say women, if you ask women what's their ideal men, you know, you hear a lot of them say a dude over 6 feet, you know, dark, slim, whatever, right? Right? It's usually some kind
Somebody
of,
with a job.
it's some kind of description usually, right? So I put this on Facebook before a couple years ago. I said, I bet you if that's your standard, you like a dude over 6 foot, blah blah. I said, I dare you to find a dude that's nice or whatever, you know, that you personality you like, but he's 5'2".
The truth of the matter
Look,
is,
he's 5'2". You like a dude over 6 foot. He's 5'2".
the truth of it is like nobody is ever gonna find that perfect person. So like even though you might have a description in your mind of what this perfect person might be, that person don't exist. Because everybody has their own characteristic flaws. You know what I'm saying? And they're not gonna be the ideal unless you literally make a girl, build a girl or something. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of
when that comes down to it, you have to realize what it is you can deal with.
right. And what's acceptable and what's not.
And what you're not willing to deal with.
You know what I'm saying? And the truth of the matter is like being over 35, like it's certain things that we just don't accept no more. So it's gonna be a little more difficult. You know what I mean? And a lot of people that's over 35 done been scarred to some extent by some relationship that they pulling with them into the current dating pool when they try to find somebody new. They still holding on to that baggage or whatever happened to them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and that
after the relationship, you know, if you break up, it's supposed to be a lesson. You know, not something that you
hold on to.
The next relationship.
That's like everything in life.
Right. It's lesson.
Everything's supposed to be a lesson when you lose.
It's the time to reflect and then build on yourself.
Yeah.
Because now that's another tool in your toolbox. You obviously went through something that y'all couldn't reconcile or fix.
So
to really put it on the boards, dating over 35 is just individuals that haven't healed from whatever they dealing with.
Nah, that's too general.
Yeah, and I mean,
it depends on the person.
Okay.
Like,
and just
come on, expand.
What they looking for.
Right.
But see, let me use myself, right?
Let's do it.
Right. So I'm 37, and I come into contact with a lot of women that are my age who still think they pop, still think they got it. So they spend a lot of time trying to figure out who they gonna get the most from. So then now I got choices, right? I can either cater to that, or that I can date up, which means older, or I can date down, which is younger. So those are two decisions that I got to make. Then with younger women, you can still kind of, I hate to say it, but it's just real. You can still mold it.
You can mold it, right? So a lot of the times
already comes kind of set. She comes set in her way.
she said,
So she's gonna bring what it is, what she has to the table right away. That's just what this is me. This is what I have. You
either with it or you're not.
so
And that's pretty much what happens. And then with an older woman, if they feel like you're not rocking, it's easy for them to walk away.
right.
It's easy. I mean, just for the man too. Like,
what the hell?
the main reason why I keep emphasizing on the women, because I don't want none of the women in our lives or any of the women that may watch this to ever feel like they less than anything. That
Well,
we
see,
do.
that's one of the problems too, though.
No, balance it out, bro.
Yeah, that's one of the problems too, though.
We gotta understand that.
Right, but
We gotta understand that. And once we understand that,
Hey, man, you got feelings too.
Yes,
Yeah,
man.
we do.
Yeah, man.
no,
We gotta keep
do.
it balanced.
It's a balance to it, but we want to make sure that don't nobody misinterpret this as being any other type of way, because that's how a lot of conversations go and get misperceived as men trying to do too much to overwhelm or mold women instead of really trying to cultivate real relationships with the women. You know what I'm saying?
That's okay. So
That real shit.
Let me give a definition to what I mean by when I'm talking about a younger girl.
Right.
Like there's a certain level of experience that I have that I want to help her. I want to help give to her for her own personal growth.
To save some time.
So So I want to be able to show her so she can avoid mishaps that I already encountered.
Right.
So that's what I mean by mold. Not like, oh, make her do what I want to do, but along the line, she will learn me in the process.
Right. Like that's the clarification just for the world. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
People don't get it misconstrued and think we over here trying to R. Kelly motherfuckers and pee on them.
Well,
shit. You know what I'm saying?
So,
real shit.
So this is my last take on far as this go for dating. If you are out there dating, that's what you got to do. You got to actually date.
You got to heal first.
No, but listen,
I'm saying,
heal but
first.
we're talking to the people that's dating, right?
Heal.
The
Take
people
time.
but you're not dating them, so we're not talking to them.
Don't date if you ain't healed.
But we're not talking to them. We're talking about,
because then you just busting it open.
okay, well we're talking about the people dating, right? You got to actually date if you're going to date. You got to be open-minded. Don't bring your baggage from the last relationship into this one. It ain't even a relationship yet. You just dated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they be open-minded. People don't be open-minded enough.
Can I bring this up though too? While we on this subject of being grown, because that's what it is.
Right.
Being grown and dating, mature. I seen somebody post on social media. It was a question. It said something to the effect of, and this ain't verbatim, but it's going to be pretty close. She said something to the effect where she was like, "What is sex on the first night?"
She said she asked that. What is it?
Question. But like what? So it was put out there to get people's perspective, right?
Right.
What do you think sex is on the first night?
Right.
You know, and I'll be the first one to say maybe it's just my 37-year-old. You know, I'm not willy-nilly. Let's start there. Like it ain't no. But I'm definitely not gonna be on nobody's 90-day challenges either.
Right.
See, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like,
right.
Get me in a space where, like, because I just that's still important to me. Put it like that. So you're not gonna get me in a space and then I'm waiting, and I finally get it. It's like, okay, we ain't mixing like that.
Right.
Like our chemistry ain't
even that.
See, what we got to do, see, that's my point.
The 90-day challenge.
Hold on. That's my point.
Good point.
That's my point once again, though. We got to stop being so traditional. That's like celebrating holidays every year or whatever. Like, we got to stop being traditional. We can't say, oh, I only want a girl that's 5'5", light skinned with a big booty. No, you gotta be open minded no matter what it's about. If you're gonna date, be open minded to date it. You know what I'm saying? Like when you do get into a relationship, you gotta be open minded about things that the other one like and don't like and blah blah blah. It's all about open minded when it comes to all this shit.
Man, that's for people that's good. Like
yeah, you know,
a lot of people ain't even really dating to get to that next stage though. A lot of people just be dating just to be dating. Real shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers get a kick out of that shit.
I mean, you got some people that don't date at all.
It's not really. They not really looking.
I don't know what that means, but
they not really looking for that person that they can really settle down with. They just looking for that person that they can have some fun with.
Well, if you're just dating, then you can do that. Yeah, if you're just dating, you can do that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is to be open and honest. When you first meet somebody and they vibe organically, like if you open and honest and tell a person exactly what it is at 35 and up, they either gonna ride with you or not, B.
Well, that's with life period, though.
I'm just saying, a lot of people think they gotta lie about that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of people run
society, though.
They run into them problems in regards to dating because they be lying to themselves, saying, "Oh, I really want me a mate." Whoop-de wham. Whole time they really enjoy being single.
See, but that's a lot of society got a lot of fault to do with that. That goes back to what I said about the traditional shit. You know what I'm saying? Men supposed to be
not traditional right now.
So look, it wasn't until captivity that we started being with one person relationships.
How do we really don't know that?
Yes, we do. It's on record.
We've been brainwashed.
Yes, it's on record, man. It's on record. Look at any other country and all that right now.
I mean, I honestly, we don't know.
I
understand, yes, we have a natural ability to understand what happened, but it's been so many lies told. Who's to actually know what is what?
It's on record. It's still going
it's about
on.
What women even got, right now.
Women even got a thing with multiple men. They even got a thing.
Yeah,
with multiple husbands though. Husbands,
it happens,
not just men. They fucking.
But in other cultures and other societies, it might have been okay for it to be one-on-one. So all of these different forms of relationships exist.
I know that's my point.
Who's to say which one is right or wrong?
Nobody said that. My point was that this was normal. My point was exactly. That's my point. Who wasn't?
I can't deal with more than one girl.
Hey, listen. My point though. Hold on. Listen. My point though was, it was all of it. It wasn't. It have to be this. It wasn't. It wasn't like foot soldier life that they make us live now. Work 8 hours a day. Do this. Like the lifestyle that society have built for the last 80 years has been a fucking.
400. That's Westernized,
you know what I'm saying?
civilization.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying.
Civilization has got us in this conflict.
Once you break out of the mentality of doing falling in line everywhere, do what's right for you and yours. Whatever works for you and yours.
And be honest about this shit. The key to all of it is be honest about it, because there's people in the world that's gonna rock with you for who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that comes with actually communicating.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We always hear, women are from Venus, men are from Mars. Communication is broken down. So it's if you never really sit down and get to know that person, then you ain't gonna really know how to approach a situation where it's like, hey, I want to be open with this person, but I don't want them to leave.
If I tell them too much, they're gonna leave me.
But you gotta give them people the option.
You gotta get them. I ain't gonna lie. That's if I learn anything through my experience, is you have to be open and honest, man.
Give them the option.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta give them that option, man. At first it was oh, let me have it. I don't, because I was married. You know what I'm saying? On some real shit. I was married, and the ideas that I was raised under had me all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? To where I wasn't even.
Everybody can't be.
You know what I'm saying? Right, you know what I'm saying? I'm raised under a different influence, you know what I'm saying? And that influence made me make choices in my life based upon what I had been around growing up. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of bad choices that was made based upon some of them influences in my life, and not being.
That's a cultural and religion.
Yeah, it's cultural and religious. You know what I'm saying? Like, being honest though, being honest is being human. So I could have did that and lived that certain lifestyle, but I had to be honest enough to even let the woman make the option on if that was something that she even wanted to be involved in.
Right.
You know, grew up. Motherfucker had to grow up.
We get so hung up on not trying to hurt somebody.
Right.
That's the man thing, I think.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to hurt the person. You know, even though I know that if I do this,
it's gonna hurt her.
I catch this time in between time. I know I can jug here and take Shorty down real quick because I got a few hours.
Right. Right.
I know that she found out she gonna be mad.
She gonna be
And
mad.
I care about her. I don't want to hurt her, but it's something that's on, and she is giving this to me.
Right. Yeah, and that's what it be. Like, that's how most shit fold right there. You know what I'm saying? But man, truly appreciate it, man. Love definitely the conversation. We need to have these more often. I'm definitely gonna be in tune, man. You know, share the video. It's on Facebook going live right now, man. Let's have this conversation with the world. See what's happening.
Send them the YouTube link too. In a couple days.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. We appreciate it, brother.
Much love, now. Love. All right, man. Where we at, man? Hey, I ain't gonna lie, it's a pretty decent show, man.
So yeah, man. What's your final take on it, man? Before we can wrap it up real quick.
Man, my final take, man. Hey, the dating pool got pissed and shit in it, man. You gotta be careful. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful. You feel me? Like, people holding on to their emotions. You know what I mean? There's a lot of women out here that ain't gonna tell you the truth. It's a lot of men that ain't gonna tell you the truth. It's up to the person. It's up to you if you want to even deal with some of the shit that be happening. You know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily have to deal with motherfuckers if you don't want to deal with them. Being 35, but understand the clock is ticking. So, you know what I'm saying? At some point, you're not gonna find a perfect 6'6" Michael Jordan, 4 businesses, 8 houses, ass motherfucker. Like, sometimes, you know, it's not necessarily lowering our expectations, but actually being able to deal with a person for who they are and not for what we expect them to be.
Right. I mean, it don't mean you gotta settle either or whatever.
No, don't settle for less.
But yeah, and I just say be open-minded. You know what I'm saying? That's what I say, and I say that for anything in life. All that old falling in line, just living how you was told to live. Whatever works for you. Just make sure you do the research on how you want to live, and you live for you. Don't live by how everybody else wants you to live, because what you eat don't make me shit. We know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So just, man, be open-minded in life for whatever it is, and do what you do.
Stay true. Stay true to yourself. You know what I'm saying? You know what you want out of life. You know what you want to get out of life. You know who you want to spend your time with. And when you run into situations where it's like, maybe I don't need to be around this person, dog, separate yourself and be honest with that person about whatever it is that you're going through on everything. Because it'll save you time. It'll save that person stress. You know what I'm saying? And it'll give you enough time to rebound and figure out what else is going on. But, like, we need to take some time to heal. Every last one of us, we need to heal from our past relationships, our past traumas, and be able to move forward if that's what we plan on doing. But if you plan on busting it open and doing that,
and hold up, and let me say this too though.
Be safe.
Healing don't mean that you have to be a hermit either. Don't never go outside or whatever. Because I be having cousins and all that. Be stressed like a motherfucker. Don't want to go do nothing or nothing. Just because you heal it don't mean you can't still be and say your regular self. Healing mean just take care of what you got to take care of with inside. You know what I mean?
And it don't necessarily mean you hurt. The human body has a natural way of replenishing itself. So if you take the time for yourself, you know what I'm saying, you not necessarily healing because you hurt, you are healing to keep you propelled in the right direction. That's what's up.
All right, man, it's LTA, man.
Well, let's talk about it, man. That's a real life subject, boy.
Let's do something.
We ain't go as good as we needed to, but it was finna happen.